Elimination Station with Team T-Rex. Team T-Rex, welcome to the Gaymazing Race.
Oh, it's good to be here.
Thanks for having us. Not good to be here, but thanks for having us.
the team of golf buddies from Tennessee. And y'all, first of all, looked great in those outfits, in the your lederhosen and your alpine hats. And I believe it was you who created Patience is the New Me, which is the episode title, right? Which is a sad foreshadowing of events and what happened to y'all. But I wanted to ask about that moment to start. Patience is the New Me and the transformations that each of you made to get ready to go on this race. Because I know a couple of you made them. You both made them. But we'll start obviously with Rex, and then we'll get to Tim.
All right. I think the Patience is me is obviously there's no chance, because I'm not I had to be patient. My wife was like, look, just be patient, listen to Tim, and do that, because I'm ready. I'm really one of those ready, fire, aim guys. Where it's like, boom, let's go. Oh, hey, maybe I should have aimed. And you saw that a little bit during the race, where the more pressure mounted, that, that's almost the mode that I fell back into, where it's like, we needed to practice more, but I knew those people were breathing down our neck, the cheerleaders. I'm like, we've got to go right now to get it done, or we're never going to do it. And it's funny how you revert right back to really who you are in those situations. And I needed to be more patient, and I came up a little short.
And Tim, you were a supportive yodel partner from the sidelines.
Yeah, I mean, it's I would say it's probably I can only speak for myself, but when you're the person watching your partner, I think it would probably be easier being the person yodeling than the person who's watching you, because you're less out of control. You're more of just cheering. I hope he gets it this time. I hope he gets it this time. But then when you realize when you got to do something together, like you told with the bells, that just threw a major curveball at us. But he did great at the yodeling. I mean, I didn't realize that Rex can hold a tune, but that man can hold a tune.
It's funny, because I felt like we could do anything together. I literally thought that, man, I don't care what the task, together, I knew my partner would be on it, like we were going to be set, that was going to be our strength. Any of those things we had to do together. And you kind of saw it in a little bit in the first episode, the keg rolling and then sawing through the log. We went through that like butter. But I was like, we can do this. But then we found something that either one of them, we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. Like, we were so bad at those bells. And we had never played an instrument before, either one of us. Our music, we had no music background. And it was like our kryptonite, I almost felt like it,
Well, you were really doing a lot of good partnership coaching through the whole bell thing. Even when you went and it didn't work out, I feel like you were saying a lot of really good stuff.
Well, I appreciate that. I was just trying to keep us going, because I knew how, we both felt the pressure, and I knew that we had to try to get it through. And I saw the frustration with Tim. And I will say this, it was much easier on my side than it was his side. I only had 4 or 5 bells on my side. He had 2 more bells on his side. So it was much more difficult on his side. And even at one point, I think Tim might have said, hey, you want to switch? I'm like, it's too late to switch, you know what I mean? But it's like,
well, that's a question I had, actually, is that we're in that moment where you're struggling with the bells. That's usually the pivotal moment where you're like, okay, let's switch. Let's figure out this dance thing. Did you feel that, it would be equally detrimental to switch to the dance challenge?
We knew that with the other groups that we were going against, they all had a dance background, and you had cheerleaders. So you kind of knew that everybody was going to go towards a dance. And if we were going to be judged towards that, they were going to get it down way quicker than we were. So it was kind of like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't type situation for us. And then to go back with Rex's encouragement, he was. I mean, people are watching me on TV now, man, you look like you were getting frustrated. You're 100% right. I sure damn was. When you're doing it over and over and over again, you're like, man, I can't get this. I cannot get this. And Rex was good. He was pumping me up, he brought my focus back. But unfortunately, them bells, I mean, even when it came on TV today, it was almost like PTSD, where I was like, I got to relive this all over again.
No.
just the ringing of those bells were in my head, where I'm like, oh God, I got to hear this again.
Well, both of those songs, the yodel song and the bell song, I'm sure are just imprinted somewhere deep in there.
Oh,
I will tell you this. If I ask Rex when we're on the golf course, hey, do you remember the yodel song? And sure enough, he can yodel the yodel song.
Probably perfectly now.
yeah, that's what happens when you did it, when you do that 100 times, that it does get embedded in there. But if I don't see another kettlebell the rest of my life, I'm okay with that.
Well, we know, Rex, that you physically prepared for the race and you lost, I think you said 52 pounds or something like that for the race. Tim, what did you do either physically or mentally or skill set wise to prep for the race? Because like last season, the two guys that Dusty and I'm now forgetting the other dude's name, they climbed mountains in Colorado and all of that before they came back. Did you immerse yourself into that, or did you do like map reading, or what was it that prepped you for this race?
I did a lot of map reading at work. I'm in law enforcement, so we use GPS quite a bit. So rather than doing that, I was using maps while I was work. As far as physical fitness, I've run 2 full marathons. I'm training for another one. I've done powerlifting in the past as far as weightlifting. So the physical fitness and all that, I was ready for, but the maps, I used a lot of that at work.
That's really clever, actually, just to get yourself back into that, because I when I first moved to Los Angeles, I remember having to use the Thomas Guide, which was a giant map book. And now I'm so dependent on the GPS. I think that's great to be able to multitask at work to prepare for the amazing race. Rex, what are your secrets to the dramatic weight loss that you undertook for the race? And I hope that you didn't torture yourself too much through it.
I did torture myself a little bit. We did, I think I did more of like a sensible diet. So I had more of the, the proteins and all that, but it was, a lot less carbs, but it was the physical activity as well. Like we started the first day out, we're like, all right, let's go for a run. We started going, I'm like, oh my goodness. Because I think what happens when we get older, you assume you could do the things you did when you were a kid. And I could always run, I'd run 6 miles a day. Like I could run. Man, I probably hadn't run for 20 years or so. So I started out, I barely made a mile. And we got to a hill and I'm like, I can't go up this thing. So I ended up walking it or whatever. And after like 3 weeks or so, I was running 3.5 miles a day. So I got it and was like, all right, I'm feeling pretty decent. And so that was a good thing about it. I never wanted to be an anchor for my partner, even though at times I was, because he could go way ahead of me, but the race has you stay within like 20 feet of each other. So we had to, Tim, you got to slow up, bud. But I tried my best. We tried to, in the short amount of time we had to get ready for the race, I tried to do it. I did a little, I couldn't drive a stick shift. One of Tim's friends had a Jeep, so I learned how to drive stick. He actually had it for a week. So I felt good about that if we ever got in that situation. But that was pretty much it. Everything else I basically left to Tim. All right, Tim, you learn the countries and all that stuff, and I'm just going to show up, be ready to roll.
I know we have to go, but my last question is, do you have any general coaching tips Karen and I are both teachers. Sometimes I feel like that's kind of like being a coach. When students are feeling kind of down, it's towards the end of the semester, they're not sure if they can do it or make up all the work.
Yeah, I think the big thing is, like anything else, just keep moving. And if you keep moving forward a little bit, things get done. And you'll be surprised. Maybe it's just one or two things you're doing, but then you stack those things together, all of a sudden you get through it. And I think that's it. Don't give up. Just keep hanging in there and grinding. And at the end of the day, you'll go. Like if I would have quit after I can't run, and I never did anything, I never would have got past a mile. But then just by persistence and staying the course, staying with it, all of a sudden, boom, you start making gains. And I think that's something that people can learn from this.
Thank you so much.
Tremendous advice. Thank you so much. And it was a delight to watch you on the Amazing Race, Team T-Rex. We're sad to have seen you go so quickly, but I'm sure that, all of the folks who are pulling for you, I saw on Twitter, there are a lot of sad people that you're leaving the show. So good luck. And even if you struggled at the bell challenge, at least you did it once. And that's something you probably never expected to do in your entire life. So
There's no doubt about that.
right.
In Lederhosen, no less.
In Lederhosen.
Tim looked good in that. Tim needs to wear that all the time.
More Oktoberfest in your future.
That's right.
Thank you guys for your time, and we'll, best of luck in your future endeavors. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
bye-bye.